The minister very passionately speaking about digital transformation and democracy through the digital prism which exists. How much of this can actually be taken outside? What are some of the experiences which you feel can be translated into something substantial in other markets?
So two aspects to that. First, I absolutely agree with the minister in terms of the empowerment it brings to all of the people as well as the growth opportunity it brings. Let's first talk about the services side. So if I look at just the pandemic, to stick to that example, during the pandemic, people were working remotely, people were working from home. If the digital infrastructure did not exist, that meant that we would have had 10 to 20 million people out of employment and unable to work. I'll give you our experience. We have tens of thousands of people in India, 98% productivity through the entire pandemic, through the worst of it and through all of the remote working that had to happen. Without that digital infrastructure, and it's more than just a telephone line or a VPN or a remote PC, it meant that they had to be able to function from home. So all of the apps, all of the delivery, all of the e-commerce allowed and enabled that to work. That, by the way, can be measured in the hundreds of billions of dollars in terms of productivity and in terms of GDP contribution towards India because of that DPI. The second is the opportunity that I believe is going to come. And you're right, it was discussed during the B20. I think it'll go faster maybe in another year or two. But people are looking at the low cost, the fact that half the world's digital transactions are now happening over the UPI system in terms of volume, and at a cost that is 1% that which other countries are seeing. And that is something which people are looking at now and saying, can we build such a system? By the way, it's more than just payments. People think about it like that. It is taking out and making sure that the policy and the intention of the government can be met when the money flows directly to the intended recipient. That is something which countries all over the world struggle with and which can be brought to bear. So two sides. Export the actual service out of India, so a true meaning of the word globalization here, and two, take what was done and export it to the rest of the world.
Ma'am, would you like to just come in on that point which Mr. Krishna spoke about, digital banking and empowerment, the fact that money actually gets to people who need it most, there is no middleman or person in the middle, that the entire system of rollout of funds, which is so critical in different parts of our sector, is seamlessly done?
I think to just supplement what Mr. Krishna said, can you imagine when we make a promise for good governance, and as he said, the intended beneficiary gets the benefits directly from the treasury, and those who have had a layered disposition for the lack of digital transparency have benefited far too long, and unjustly so. So in our governance experience, we actually could weed out 100 million such cases and save lakhs of crores, billions of dollars from our treasury. And that is why, irrespective of the challenges that the pandemic brought, we were in a position not only to bring about policy reform, I think Secretary DPIIT can speak better on it, 63,000 hindrances to businesses globally, not only locally, were taken away, so that there is a very, very substantial policy reform which was underway. So India was fighting the pandemic, India was engaging in reform, and India was performing digitally to ensure that our populace is protected. But at the same time, we did not lose opportunities to engage globally. We were never shut for business, even during the pandemic.